Hello guys, NautoAce here, and I want to give my thoughts on the SNK All-Star mobile game controversial ad on Facebook. So if people been following what's happening, here's the gist of it. So apparently there's a game called SNK All-Star for mobile. I played it, it's not really that fun because it's a gacha game. Game tends to get too hard in the long run. Of course, you know, it's a mobile game, free to play, etc, etc, etc. I mean, you got characters from Last Blade, Samurai Shodown, of course, King of Fighters, but I mean, it is for the game is, but for me personally, it's as an SNK fan, I didn't have fun with it. So the story behind it was they were trying to promote the game. There was an ad that was put up on the official Facebook, and it showed, well, Kula, Mai, and Mary sitting there on a noodles shop, just talking, and then out of nowhere, Terry in his bike, and it just out of nowhere slapped the girl's butt, and of course, then there's a mishap, and then suddenly the women caught up with Terry, and then in the end, SNK All-Star for mobile game. So, yeah, it is controversial to some extent, and it's really just out of character. For me personally, what I thought about it, it's a good laugh. That's all it is to it. I mean, hashtag, believe it or not so much of a big deal. However, it is concerning. Yes, it is going to concern, especially if you're marketing this worldwide, especially in the US, especially as of right now, what's going on. You know, this type of thing is not really good. So, like I said, my thoughts about it, yeah, a little questionable, but I don't think it's the end of the world. But there is a lot of problems here, and yes, I'm gonna sort of expand to Neo Geo now. He talked about it, and I gotta give credit also as well with Big Al when I found this on Facebook, and when I saw like, oh wow, this is just out of place. So the biggest problem with the ad itself is that, well, it's what I call it, misrepresentation of characters. So for people who don't know what that means is you kind of give the character a different definition to what they're supposed to be. That's the saying, changing the reputation, trying to tarnish the reputation of the said character. So in the case with Terry, him slapping the women's butt is out of place. First of all, that's sexual harassment. You don't do that, period. But like I said, Terry doing it, he's not the type of guy that does that. If you know Terry, he's just a guy who wants revenge because Geese Howard killed his stepdad, Jeff Bogart. You know, that's the story of Fatal Fury and the King of Fighters. So him being like a perverted, no. It's not Haposai from Ranma 1/2. It's not Miroku from Inuyasha. Or those perverted characters. So in the case with SNK, there are, believe it or not, some perverted characters there. So from Fatal Fury 2, there's a character by the name of Yubei, a judo master, and the master of both Mai and Andy Bogart. He's a pervert. If you watch the anime, he's a pervert. So if he was the one that's riding a bike and slapping those girls' butt, it's probably gonna make sense. I know it's weird, but still, it's wrong. Like, why do you do that on 2020? It's weird. It's definitely weird. It's not something that you should be doing it. You don't do that. And of course, one of the characters there is Kula. She's 14, and especially in the US, that's considered minor, and that is, again, that's a no-no. So like Mary and Mai, they're past 20s, but for Kula, yeah, again, for what it is, it's just weird. It's wrong. The bottom line is, it is a misrepresentation of character. You're giving the wrong idea what the character's all about. Terry is not a guy that likes to slap people's butt. He's just a straight guy that wants revenge because Geese Howard killed his dad, Jeff Bogart. That's really it. And him riding a bike, that's also weird. I don't really remember him riding a bike, but maybe he does ride a bike at some point. I don't know. I always thought he was Rio because Art of Fighting 1. Again. So, the trailer, I'm not really offended, but it is kind of concerning because you are trying to ruin the character's reputation. And this is the reason why, long time ago, believe it or not, in Super Smash Bros. Brawl with Sakurai, is that the reason of sort of supposedly lack of third-party characters because there's supposed to be more besides Sonic and Snake. As he kind of said the same thing, that he was trying to protect the integrity of the character. He did not want to ruin the reputation, so he just said, "No, we kind of keep it safe." Of course, there was some story about Pac-Man, but then Sakurai said, "How do you put a 2D character in Super Smash Bros? It's kind of weird before his Pac-Man world design." And then, of course, the case with Mega Man, there was a rumor he was supposed to be in Brawl, but KG said yes, but Capcom said no, so there's a different story there. But the bottom line is, you gotta have to respect the intellect property, like what Sakurai is doing. And even to a point that both SNK and the people behind SNK All-Star made their statement. So in SNK, this is what they said. SNK has become aware of an advertisement for a product created by our licensing partner which has not up to our ethical standards. SNK played no part in the creation of the ad, had no prior knowledge of its content, and has filed a complaint with the parties involved, asking for the ad to be taken down immediately. We sincerely apologize to our fans that such an offensive ad managed to make it to the public release and hope for your understanding. We will strive to do better in the future along with our partners. So Neo Geo already gave a thought about it, which is, did SNK needed to apologize? Probably not, because they had nothing to do with it. They didn't even know. They allowed them to have the license, thinking that you'll do good, show integrity and respect to the IP, but nope, not really. So that's what it is. And of course, people in the past, if you've been following Neo Geo, credit to Johnny Millennium. Guess what? There have been ad about Neo Geo in the West also with the classic Neo Geo. There have been an ad about a dog. There was even about a hot dog. Even a hot girl being neglected over a Neo Geo console. But those are different marketing. So the bottom line, what SNK was saying here is, they didn't know about it. It was all SNK All-Star and whoever they partnered with their agency to do the ad. It was all on them. So they had nothing to do with it. To a point that even SNK All-Stars development team actually did a post in their Facebook saying, "Dear fighters, we have noticed a discomforting advertisement of SNK All-Star created by one of our advertising agency. The creation and release of the advertisement are not supervised by us. We are sorry for any misunderstanding this may cause. We have urged the related agency to remove the advertisement, and we have terminated our cooperation immediately." So technically the cut ties. That's all you need to do. It is our vital goal to keep the essence of SNK Universe, and we sincerely apologize for such an unnecessary mistake. Compensation will be sent to all players of SNK All-Star later. We will continue perfecting SNK All-Star to bring you more joy. So the game itself, like I said, is not fun. So again, even they didn't know about it. They hired someone that they thought they can trust, and then oops, my mistake. So, but the problem here also is, this is an official business. If it was some weird fan fiction from a bad website or whatever, then that's a different story, because they're not acknowledging it, they're not part of the business. The problem with this ad is, it's legit, it's official. It was, to some extent, at one point, approved by SNK All-Star team, but of course now they've realized that, oop, that is wrong. So, before I close it, another thing people might say, probably, not so much, oh, it's censorship, that's a harmless ad, this is not right. Well, it's not about censorship. It's, again, like I said before, deformation of character. You're giving Terry the wrong idea who he's supposed to be, and then at the same time, you have a character, Kula, who's under 18, a minor, getting her butt slapped. Again, it's fictional, I understand. So there is sort of, again, one of those gray areas. It is fictional, but at the same time, the message behind it, you don't really want to show that. And like I said, believe me, I'm against censorship, but in this case, again, it's out of place. To some extent, yes, SNK sort of have a fan service aspect, but it's only mine. That's it. Mai is supposed to be a sex appeal. That's always been the point. Even the original creator of her, that character, even stated that's the whole point of Mai. She is supposed to be a fan service character, but that's it. The other characters, maybe not so much. That's it. Fatal Fury is not so much really a fan service game, but again, to the minor. Same goes with Street Fighter. Like I said, Waidas, Armika, and Cammy in Street Fighter 5. Their outfit, you can see their buttocks. Again, who knows? Maybe there's a story behind it, maybe not. Again, it is what it is there. So, those are my thoughts on the controversy ad that was put on Facebook about SNK All-Star. Again, it's not really like it's harmful, it's just a good laugh, but it is kind of concerning because that can hurt the character's reputation, SNK's reputation. Is it censorship? Not so much to the point that you got aspect there that it shouldn't even be there. That's it. It should. Like I said, if it was Yubei riding a motorcycle because, I don't know, it's an old guy, he's old, he wants to party, and if you don't have Kula there, say King or Vanessa, heck, Vanessa is in her 30s, then it's a different story. But you got Kula there for whatever reason, then that's wrong. So with that, I'll see you guys later.